Yeah, in terms of the compromising space to go under the trench, basically, from what we found, we were still like maybe 4 inches under height when doing our tests, and we still got up to like possibly 30 to 40 balls. So it's not compromising too much. You could go like, if you don't go under the trench, you could extend it an extra like 8 inches and get probably like 15 to 20 more balls. But as for ours,
yeah, we don't need to go too high.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get like 80, then you need to design an intake system that can loop all the balls and feed it over the top of that, which would be more complex.
So it's probably the best medium to do an intake that is going directly to that trench height and feeding into a hopper, rather than doing an intake that has to go even taller and cause a lot more problems. So yeah, I'm curious how large teams are going to go, like the max capacity that some of these things are going to get.
Kendra, do you have
I'm sure that it's actually like you can definitely calculate how much is actually possible to fit on top of a frame, but as for us, we're gonna aim for
I mean, like if you're hitting the frame, like the frame limit of 30, you're not getting much more to be worth it.
Okay.
Someone
just said cranberry alarm was an inch under 22 and got 50 balls.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that makes a solid difference. And they said, oh, so that's a solid difference, right?
Between what we were saying?
Yeah, I suppose.
I think their design was different.
Yeah. We were also about 4 inches under. So if we just extended those extra inches and had actual balls to test, we could probably hit those same numbers.
Yeah, because theirs was like extending out.
Is there something that might be faulty?
Oh,
I just.
yeah. So the thing that cranberry alarm seems to be doing, wait.
I can go back to it.
So, the driver's station, we're having like a camera box.
You would think that doesn't make sense because everything is still green. Like it's not.
Okay.
What is the
small. But they have this.
Good. Like green on the camcorders means good.
Kendall,
I know the can.
someone asked, can you repeat that point on the intake over the trench part from before?
Yes. Can we like go to the whiteboard?
Yeah.
I can draw.
It's also quieter over there.
Yeah. And also, continuing on the, I'll just talk. Continuing on the cranberry alarm part, their actual bumper extends over. Like I'm guessing they go the full foot over the bumpers, so they're able to get a lot more actual fuel storage through that. That's something to consider. That's what we were thinking about with our actual intake, taking them that way. But it's just a. Oh, awesome. Thank you. But it's just those little bits and pieces to think about. And also, we don't have the same amount of balls as cranberry alarm to like actually check this stuff. We literally only have the 14. I think we have 14, so we can only estimate to be sure. We can also probably calculate later. But there is
We're asked for your chat. Yes. Yeah, you're right. They say they want 10 inches, I think.
What's up?
They said, yeah, you're right. They want 10 and they went 10 inches, I think.
That sounds about right. They could. I don't know what they're planning. They could probably go even more. They could go the full length if that's possible. Yeah. So as for the thing that we were talking about,
Well, I am not.
imagine this is our frame right here. So we have our hopper that's sitting about here in our frame. So imagine that we go to the 22 inch height right here. So if we do that, then our actual intake will only be going this high to like feed in. Because if you feed in from the bottom, it's going to be very hard for those balls to actually go up and maximize the like extra storage in here. So if you're feeding in there, how's it going to do that? That's the main issue that we're thinking about. So the intake would actually have to feed over and in. So if you go those full 30 inches, that's going to be a lot more to go up and in. So you have to build an intake that's able to carry directly from the floor all the way up and into our like 30-inch tall basket. So of course it will give you more, but is the trade-off worth it for such a large intake and less maneuverability? That's the main like concept. So there's going to be teams that do both, of course. It's good to be be able to go under the trench and over the bump. So I think personally, from the last like 10 hours, 11 hours, I think that it would be better to go shorter with a shorter intake for like better maneuverability.
They wrote that they thought about that problem too. What is your plan for an elevated intake like that?
I don't know if we're actually doing this. Fatime was working on one right now, but it should. This is the Fatime idea. I'll tell you this one. So it's going to go through, and then we could probably just have a wall here and a wall on top of the intake that will funnel it in like that. So both of these could probably move, or this could be stationary, or this could all probably move. But pretty much everything will just move in this direction. So imagine, I have a good example of this for crescendo, but the notes would travel in, and then they would get sucked up and form like that. It's pretty simple. That year it was under the bumper intake, so it's a lot different, of course. But same idea of just like that movement. There's also a good crescendo cranberry alarm video of the same thing, where it was over the bumper, where they just slapped down. Slap down intake to where it was shaped perfectly for that. This would just be a lot larger for such a large ball. The other idea that I kind of brought this up earlier with Liam and a few other people, but I'll go ahead and do it. So for this one, it would be same rectangle, same upper shooter, this is in the part. But the intake would be shaped more like, I don't know, circle, then up, over, but the mechanism would need to move like this. So it'd be more like a 4-bar linkage type situation where it'll move like that. So it'll actually rotate around, and then this can act as a barrier to lock in all the balls. Oh, it always will, but this can act as like, it can act as a barrier whether it's up or down, pretty much. But the primary like extra benefit of an intake like this, the extra benefit is having extra storage space within the actual intake itself. So that's where the extra balls from our equations or our like test are coming from. So having the probably, I'd wager probably 30. I'll just say solid 30 in there. And we could probably fit another 10. But if this was on the 18-inch tall version. So if we continue this up for like another 4 inches, we could probably go. Extra punches, extra everything. We could probably go another 10 in here. So we could probably hit those same numbers as cranberry alarm with their like massive overhang. But we have to consider the fact that while this storage space is going on, cranberry alarm probably takes up about this much space in their frame, like extending past, while we're taking up this much of our frame, while also taking up this entire space for the elevator, this part for electrical, swerve over here, swerve over here. We can work with this one though. That one's a whole separate topic.
Yeah.
But electrical under there, and then we're using this space for our extra fuel. So that's pretty much the idea. That's where we're getting our numbers from. That's our. We'll have more models tomorrow for actual better. And more than the proper cut up. Thank you. But yeah.
If you're willing, they ask you, would you cut the gap in the bumper?
That is more. That's a good question.
Well, yeah, we were gonna have this. So it wasn't our fault to carry it, and then like.
If anything, it would be.
Want to have the elevator like right against the frame rail.
This is something that we haven't talked about because it's mainly an intake question, but
Inside the frame.
I think it could. I don't see any downsides to it. Upsides, I also like. I can imagine there being some. I just can't prove it. But I imagine that if you remove the bumper space, you could fit more balls in this territory, and also be able to extend your intake back in easier. It's smart, but it's not something we've tested yet. That'll be a later today / further testing moment. We can probably do that in a minute. We might be able to show you that by taking off our bumpers and running without that. But it also would probably help us. I don't know. We want okay, actually I remembered one thing. The good thing about actually having an over the bumper entirely is the larger intake space. Because if you have that single slot,
Pontificating to chat.
yeah.
Can I join you?
Yeah, of course. I forgot what the current question was. The current question was about the intake, but whenever you introduce that gap in there, you introduce variability when you're actually sucking up into the thing, into your robot. So that's just something to consider. There's nothing bad about it, but it's just an extra workaround.
The process of being tough to store.
Were there any other questions?
What you got for us, chat? And then into.
Oh, yeah. I wish I had that other demonstration.
The other what?
There's like a good demonstration video of this earlier. It was very different, but also.
But also, like, if you just have some that are in the process of being intook, right? Because they're gonna have to pass through an amount of distance to get from the ground into the robot. If you just like pause your intake while they're in there, then they theoretically should stay.
So imagine this is a front view of your robot with your double rollers. Imagine the ball goes straight in like that. So you would suck it up. Oh, that was a thin line. You would suck it up like that. Then you'd have a cap up here, kind of like a rounded area up here. But the ball would travel through and go through into the top of the hopper. But when the hopper gets full,
Fill the hood and just leave the intake out, and that would store.
and that'll be perfect. Yeah. So when the hopper, like, I'll just draw out. So if we could probably hit about 25-inch wide intake, I would think. So we can probably get those 3 balls, and we could probably do that twice, and then maybe like 1 or 2 down here. So that would add in an extra 8 from specifically that, which I guess that 10 estimate was decent. Maybe you could get another 2 or 3, but that's the main thing. But I hope that makes sense. It's a little bit more clear. From the side view, that would look like that, where 1, 2 rows, maybe a third you could grab if you move this one forward. Yeah. I'm gonna check the comments again.
One of them is now mad.
Oh,
Kind of like an over bumper intake, of having that flipping mechanism, there's going to be storage space.
yeah. So this would still move, like it wouldn't flip. It would just translate like that. So no rotating, just translating to get over the bumper, which would be here. So go up, over.
No, you know what? Don't try.
Of course, this is just an idea. I'm not saying we're doing this. This is just like what I was thinking about earlier. So I can imagine this would be like a great way to get extra storage though. So consider that going forward.
Question from another user. If their team has a swerve drive, would you see if turret has a slight improvement or straight up overkill?
From my experience in the past with pick and place games, it's of course an overkill. From my experience with Crescendo, if your team is at a level where your vision systems are really good, your Auton is really good, like if you have everything dialed in and you're prepared to do that, go for the turret. If you're not, it's complete overkill. Because if this is your hub, this is your whole alliance space, Here's your robot. The ideal way would be you drive in, you start shooting. When you get around here, you can see the April tag. You can continue out. You can go, shooting all the way, all the time. You can clear out your entire, up to like, if you're at that level, you could probably get up to probably 60, 70 balls. But score all the way through, go around, go back. This is, if you do this, you could probably get a second cycle in. So I can imagine there's going to be a lot of one cycle teams in those 25 seconds because it's pretty difficult, I can imagine, to first score, start going in, score, leave, pick up all 70, all however many you want, maybe just 50, maybe even less for the next round, but get everything you need, then cycle back. So if you want to be the most efficient team possible, like if you want to be Robonauts, you want to be Cheesy Poofs, you want to be like whoever you want, a turret is going to be the best. Or you could get rid of that completely, and you could also just have your robot facing the entire way like that. That is completely possible. You can make your robot auto lock onto that and just use field-oriented swerve drive to just move and leave the rotation to your computer. I am not a programmer, so I do not do that. But that is completely possible to get rid of the turret. So probably like 9 out of 10 times don't do a turret, I would say. So.
Oh, something's happening. Hold on here.
Are we sure that was going the right direction? Because that was under.
Yeah, that's, I don't